right. Apologies for the last stream with the video issues. It looks like it's fixed now. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed the latest YouTube videos. So so yeah. Yeah, I've done some tinkering about on my end here with the settings, and yeah, hopefully the stream goes much better today. So, fellow chuds, welcome. So it's the 2-year anniversary of the horrible and tragic Israel-Gaza or Israel-Palestine war, and I could think of no better commemoration than by looking at Hamas broccoli head Piker and being interviewed by one of our top Karen ABC reporters a couple of weeks ago. So that we're going to watch this ball washing interview, and we're going to point out the dishonesty and disingenuous nature of this fraud fucking tool.
Hassan Piker, welcome to 7:30. Now, you were live streaming when Charlie Kirk was killed. Can you describe that, and also what your immediate thoughts were about what the consequences would be?
I was live streaming, covering the day's news as I do every day. And at first I didn't believe it. And then we immediately started scouring the internet to find if there was any footage from the incident, because I knew that there would be people filming. And we found some. And then there was, complete confirmation after I saw a close-up incident shot. Oh my God, I can't believe I just saw that. Oh my God. And obviously I was horrified. And watching that unfold to someone that you were supposed to sit next to publicly in a public setting only in a couple weeks, it made it even more real. Someone that I knew, someone that I was not exactly friends with, but a counterpart on the ideologically opposite side.
As you're watching that, you've got a lot of people live commenting. How do you manage what they say?
He doesn't. In fact, he's completely fine with very dangerous, often directly inciting to violence rhetoric and comments in his chat when he streams. So it's very sad. He's indirectly contributed to the heightened tensions in America the last few years. Some of the things he said, and saying America deserved 9/11.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
You know, interviewing Tim Houthi Chalamet, the Houthi terrorist, and saying, "Oh, we love you, bro. We love what you do, bro. Oh, you're so good. Yes, I love One Piece too. Oh, the Houthis are doing what Anne Frank does. Oh, the Houthis are just like Anne Frank and deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. Oh."
I'm doing journalism, chat. Does he know what One Piece is?
He's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
Sick. Yes. Yes. We love you too, man. Big time. Yeah.
I love you. I love you so much.
We're big fans of the...
So this broccoli-headed cunt, fucking idiot, has really helped to ruin political discourse and debate in his country, and intentionally divides his country. This radical commie fuckface.
Yeah, I mean, we are very desensitized to violence, I think, in general. So there are always going to be people that especially under the guise of anonymity online, people to just say things without really thinking about it, being careless.
Which you completely approve of in your chat.
I wanted to stamp that out immediately.
No, you didn't.
First, because I feel like it reflects poorly on them. It reflects poorly on everyone involved,
and very much you,
but also
too.
because I think that
you didn't say
instantly,
that.
I knew that this was going to be something that the administration will use against those that they've declared political dissidents. And unfortunately, my fears were realized shortly after when Donald Trump came out only a couple hours after announcing
You
Charlie
and
Kirk's
your
untimely
Reddit
demise,
revolutionaries
and
have
make a
contributed to the
statement
very
about how
dangerous rhetoric
they were basically going to start prosecuting and
inflamed
persecuting
tensions
political
in your
dissidents, the
country.
left, as he said.
Since then, we've had J.D. Vance, other senior figures in the administration say that they're going to go after what they call terror networks, who they say are behind this. What are you expecting, or what
Like
do
the
you fear
Houthis, who he loves. You should bring that one up, Karen.
from them?
I don't know. I don't know what that political prosecution is going to look like, considering that we have a First Amendment in the American Constitution that actually
Which you're very in
makes the
favor of
government
abolishing.
attempts at doing things like that wholly unconstitutional. So I don't know.
You don't give a
it's
flying
not like
fuck
this
about the
administration,
Constitution, you fraud.
is shy about eroding constitutional protections or going after people's civil liberties. So who knows where
You
they
only
might
care about
take
your
it.
radical
I
left
just hope that
constitutional protections.
the the broad American
care for your
appetite
little niche
for
audience
anger and vengeance
of Reddit
will be
revolutionaries
soothed
and blue sky
by how fast they get
acolytes.
distracted elsewhere.
Is it actually safe to be in the public sphere right now?
I mean, I have a policy of not letting fear dictate my.
I wouldn't have thought so, being over there that much, you know. I mean, there's not much chance, you know, statistically you're going to be involved in something, but I mean, you know, the country looks like a PvP service.
My life, and I'm going to continue abiding by that policy because, like I said, time and time again,
Yeah, don't let fear
this
dictate your
is
life.
an
But
unfortunate, but all
unfortunately,
too
you don't
common,
seem to mind about
side effect of this,
your audience.
this field that I'm in. And I don't just do rallies, political rallies. I don't just do public events where I go out and speak or even debate people.
Propaganda.
I also go to protests.
You self-admitted you're a propagandist, right? On Piers Morgan.
Protests where I get shot at by the American police. So I'm no stranger to putting myself in
I haven't
harm's
seen
way.
that.
And it's unfortunately something that I have to do in order to do my job properly. So I'm most likely going to continue. I'm just waiting out this initial period of unrest and anger and resentment and taking extra precautions. But I will probably go back to business as usual.
Dividing your
hopefully
country
when things,
intentionally.
when the temperature
and,
is lowered a little bit.
You know, fostering
Charlie
Reddit
Kirk's
revolutionaries.
language included
and
offensive
blue sky
statements
acolytes.
about Muslims, about black and brown people, about immigrants, about transgender people. But since his death, he's been praised for his openness to debate. What do you think about
Something
that
you've been a
praise
lot
from
less
people
willing
like
to
Ezra
do,
Klein
buddy.
from the New York Times, who said he was doing politics the right
And
way?
you're not my buddy, guy.
I think it's dishonest.
Coming
simply
from you.
put.
Right.
And
okay.
it's not necessarily because Charlie Kirk wasn't open to platforming people which he disagreed with. I myself am one of those people. So technically it's not incorrect to say that he is willing to debate people. But to state that he was doing politics the right way without actually reflecting on his political output, I think
Neither you nor he were doing political debate the right way.
is dishonest. The medium itself obviously was utilized for...
You were going for clickbaits and rage bait. Clickbaits and rage baits and farming retards constantly on social media. That's what you and that's what Charlie Kirk did. So, you talk out your ass.
cutting propaganda for the Trump administration. But also, what I found to be distasteful was the lack of... quote,
Everything you've said about the Israel-Gaza situation.
or the lack of recognition for
I love
Charlie Kirk's
you.
ideology.
I love you. Oh, you're
It
just
makes
like
it
Anne
seem
Frank.
As though the New York Times
The
is
Houthis are just
outright
like Anne
endorsing
Frank. They
Charlie
took
Kirk's
hostages just like Anne
opinions
Frank.
and ideology by omitting it, because it leaves the readers who may not be aware
You
of
have
Charlie Kirk's
KFC in
worldview
Yemen, don't you?
with a totally different
Hard-hitting
totally
journalism.
different outlook on Charlie Kirk's political advocacy. One that the New York Times is either subscribed to, or one that liberals, prominent liberals like Ezra Klein, seemingly don't care enough about to even mention.
But for you,
You don't care about
those
anything.
extreme
You just care
statements
about your
didn't
money.
Make you want to stop doing public debates with
He
him?
pretends to be...
I think it's not a matter
You know.
of what things people say, but more
Left
so
wing.
from my perspective, at least. And everyone has a different attitude about platforming, but from my perspective, it's more so a matter of how much political influence this person
You're not
wields.
even a champagne socialist. You're a champagne communist. That's what you are.
So for Charlie Kirk, I mean, he was the regime's guy. He had a lot of influence, both over the Trump administration and a lot of influence over a lot of young conservatives in this country that were a part of his massive advocacy network, Turning Point USA. So in that regard, it's not necessarily debating someone whose ideas are beyond the pale, but instead it's more so about trying to stop the bleeding in terms of like letting these kinds of dangerous ideas spread without any sort of contention, without any sort of pushback whatsoever. Once a person gets to a level of notoriety and a level of legitimacy, it's impossible to avoid them. I think closing your eyes and plugging your ears and just hoping they go away simply is not going to work. So
But you try and maintain your little echo chamber as much as possible.
at that point, I think it's valid, no matter how strange or horrifying or dehumanizing their rhetoric might be.
You've written about
Perpetuated by yourself often.
meeting with him a few years ago, saying he was much more genial than you expected. What did you learn about him that day?
He was he was very professional. He was very cordial, and he wasn't shy about trying to develop a personal relationship with even someone like myself. But I didn't really entertain that because I did find his opinions, which were much more moderate at the time, back in 2017, as opposed to what it became by 2020 and onward. But even then, I did not understand the productivity of hanging out in a cordial manner with someone who I opposed so vehemently because of their worldview. Having said that,
Because you don't understand that
reflecting on our
discussion
private
is helpful.
correspondence at the time, I realized
Respectful
like I'm
discussion is
telling you
always
right
helpful.
now, his opinions definitely
Not
changed
echo
quite a
chambered
bit.
social media
I recall a time
polarization,
where he was
which you and
talking
him
about, writing a piece
fostered to
potentially
the
on,
max.
how he found it morally repugnant to compare Black Lives Matter to the KKK. And what's interesting about that is today's Charlie Kirk and today's media environment in this incredibly divisive landscape. When I say that, you would assume that maybe he was actually highlighting the KKK as a good thing and BLM as a bad thing. But at the time, he actually was saying, look, I have disagreements with Black Lives Matter, but the Ku Klux Klan is an entirely separate organization that is just totally and utterly morally repugnant. And I think that
I'm sure your uninformed retard audience would make such an assumption.
was interesting for me to find out, because I had forgotten about this this conversation, but it was interesting for me to find out and really reconsider how much the American right has shifted on a lot of issues.
Can you explain why
Everyone is to the right of you, buddy. You're all alone on your radical left, legitimately radical left island.
Charlie Kirk resonated so much with Generation Z?
Just TikTok. I think TikTok was fearful of a
Is this Karen going to actually ask, like, any sort of tough question? Or is she just going to lap Hassan's Turkish balls up in her mouth? Ask an actual question. Stop ball washing him.
Z.
just TikTok. I think TikTok was fearful of a ban, and they recognized that if they give Trump something, that if they give Trump more access, or if they give him or his main guy, Charlie Kirk, an algorithm boost, which TikTok seemingly did do, and this is Trump's own statements on TikTok, that they would probably get a stay of execution, which they did. And I think the reason why he had a lot of staying power with Gen Z was, as opposed to how little influence the organization Turning Point USA had prior to Charlie
Chinese
Kirk's TikTok
TikTok.
initiatives, was
sort of
both
Chinese
because of the
TikTok now.
algorithmic boost that they most likely got, or they were in front of a lot more people, like real eyeballs that they were getting, real attention they were getting from a fairly young platform, and also the structural issues that my generation and the generation after mine have been experiencing, and the Democrats at the time and their inability to address these structural issues with reasonable legislation.
Well, actually, Obama did a lot of good structural legislation, but your party has completely, gone and stooged itself ever since 2016 by cutting Bernie Sanders' nuts off and throwing him under the bus. So you've only got yourselves to blame. There was a lot of good things Obama did. I thought he was a good president. So it all comes down to the candidate. And yeah, you really got that wrong on more than one occasion in the last 10 years.
Created a lot of anger. The very same type of anger that led Donald Trump to win in 2016 was still there.
Yep.
And it was not addressed.
You stooged yourself.
By the administration at the
time.
time.
You fucked up big time.
So people looked for
Your
that
party
exact
fucked
same
up real
alternative
big.
that would be destructive.
They missed the
would be a
open, wide
destructive force to
layup.
these institutions that very clearly were not helping people mitigate the affordability crisis that they were experiencing. Very clearly not
that the Democrat elites don't care about either.
Helping.
And even still, Bernie's not leading your party. He's an independent, so doesn't look good for 2028.
People buy houses. A lot of people in Gen Z, I think, recognize that they're never going to retire at a reasonable age, that they're never going to be able to own a home, and that hopelessness and that anger was palpable. That's the reason I think why they chose to take a shot in the dark in the direction of a dangerous and unstable, an incompetent fascist.
Is he talking about Charlie Kirk? Or is he talking about Trump? See, this guy lies so often, it's unclear what he means.
Like Donald Trump.
I like Trump. Right.
So it wasn't all Charlie Kirk. It was more so environmental factors that played a big role in this. And the reason why I say that is because the Gen Z opinion on Donald Trump swung dramatically back in the opposite direction.
Because Kamala and Biden said to all young guys, you don't matter. So that's a really good campaign strategy. I think that's a winning strategy.
Because they very quickly realized that Donald Trump is also not invested in fixing any of these problems that he was tasked with solving.
I want to ask you about your own rhetoric. I noticed that Elon Musk...
Oh, finally, the Karen sees the light.
Has been
and stops slapping up his ball sack.
Yes.
And I don't know the context of these particular statements, but here's a quote from you.
Thankfully, this interview is only another 2 minutes. I mean, this question, he really should be answering for the next 2 weeks straight.
About landlords who don't want to rent out their properties. You said, kill them, murder them, let the streets soak in their red capitalist blood.
I forgot about that one.
Doesn't that make you part of the problem with...
That's really great for political discourse and debate. That's really great. I think that's really constructive and is really going to help bring people together in your country.
Violent discourse.
This was in a conversation that I was having with a landlord friend of mine, and it's of course hyperbolic, and it's not meant to be sincere.
Oh,
it's
really? Oh, okay. I'm sure that was not lost on anybody. Any of your fucking, retard audience members.
It's not a real policy that I would ever advocate for, and that's precisely the reason why when Republicans were desperately...
Except for Houthi terrorism, right? Oh, they have One Piece too. I love you so much.
Looking for any sort of incisive language that they could present, they went back to...
They have a lot to choose from. They have a lot to choose from.
Instance of LARPing.
LARPing. You're just LARPing. It's a LARP. Oh, no, I don't mean, we should kill healthcare CEOs or Wall Street bankers. No, I'm just LARPing on Twitter.
Sincere statement that is obviously hyperbolic from,
Obviously.
I believe, 2018.
My question stands nonetheless. Doesn't that kind of
It was 7 years
language
ago. It doesn't
contribute
matter.
to the atmosphere of violent, even lethal violence in the United States?
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
I don't
Yes,
believe
he
that,
does.
my insincere statements that don't
They
reflect
did.
on
They
any
contributed
of my beliefs
very much
whatsoever,
indirectly. Yes.
in 2019 has led to any
Yes,
sort
it's
of real world violence.
a lot of things, Broccoli Head. It's America deserved 9/11. You know, the Houthi terrorist who I love, who is doing Ansar Allah's God's work. It's denying that rapes happened on October the 7th. Yes, he did deny that. Yeah. You know, saying Ethan Klein's wife is a valid target because she once worked in the IDF. He owned you in that debate, by the way. You got absolutely destroyed, but of course, you know, you have no balls. So, despite this Karen Aussie retard trying to lap them up for you.
In terms of the death and destruction on the
That's a
apartheid
revolution.
structure, by the
Was
way,
Nelson
it is
Mandela a
incomprehensible
Zionist?
to compare that to Israel's violence against the Palestinians.
Was Nelson
what Israel has done to the
Mandela a
Palestinians is far
Zionist?
worse. And by the way, that's not my assessment. What Israel has done to the Palestinians for the past 76 years is infinitely worse.
Well, let's
And
ask
that is
someone that
not
lived
my
through
assessment,
apartheid.
by the way. That is the assessment of Mandela. And for all the, you know,
What?
for all of the moments that he was
You
able
think
to fucking
Mandela
see.
said what's happening is worse than what we went through? That's bullshit. Why would he say that? That's on your liar.
Why would he say that? Because it's true, Ethan.
Okay.
That's why.
Is Nelson Mandela a Zionist?
Yes, Nelson Mandela. Are you going to say in 1999 he said Israel has a legal right to exist?
More
in
than
that
that.
same
He
speech
said more
that you're
than
going to
that.
fucking clip, chimp.
Remember that you called this guy a neo-Nazi, not fit to be a dog catcher. That's what you
Who?
said about
What?
Nelson Mandela.
Wait,
No,
what are you talking about? What? Whoa,
has
you're
anything
jumping
to
off
do
like
with
a
Zionist?
million different points.
The right
What?
of Israel to exist as a state legally. We have stood quite openly and firmly for the right of that state to exist within secured borders.
You disagree with that statement?
Does Israel has a right to exist? Not
Within-
in the way that it currently does.
within secure
hey,
borders.
Ethan, hold on.
Coward.
Do you know what he says after that clip?
Yeah, that he also thinks that Palestinians also need to be acknowledged, which, by the way, is my fucking point.
No, not that.
Palestinian
Not
liberation
that. No,
and Israeli
no,
borders are
no.
two
Ethan,
sides of the same coin.
Ethan,
No.
He didn't just say Palestinians also need to be
What'd he
acknowledged.
say?
He says that if peaceful means of coexistence is impossible, then violence is inevitable, Ethan. Why did you clip
It was
that
a-
out of the fucking clip chimp
Because
that
it's
you posted,
irrelevant.
Ethan?
Did you saying I clip chimp Nelson Mandela?
Yes, you literally did. You cut him out of context.
Bro,
Saying
you
the clip. I
literally
said
look
in
like
your
the dude from
Instagram
Beetlejuice. That's
story.
crazy. The
On your
small head
Inst-
guy.
Ethan, I use my words very carefully. I said in the Instagram story that you
Small
posted. I don't
head
watch
guy,
your
Beetlejuice.
stream that much. I don't. I only
In the
see
waiting
like
room.
bits and pieces of
Bro,
it.
that's crazy. Do you see the resemblance?
What?
That's you're this
Oh,
guy
God.
from Beetlejuice. In this photo, you have like the same coat and shit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. That's. You are a comedian.
I sure am, buddy. I see you laughing.
So, yeah. Look in the mirror.
Whatsoever.
Just talking about what people are being exposed to online, Australia's about to
Take some
introduce
accountability.
a social media ban for people under the age of 16. Given the violent discourse that we're discussing, could that be a solution?
I don't think so. I don't know if a walled
Because you
garden
want
approach
to
would
polarize on
perhaps
TikTok
be a little
more.
bit better and a little bit more productive in terms of
And
dealing with
Twitter.
the early stages of the journey that people go through online. I'm certainly not
like political
opposed to something
radicalization
like that.
and
But
sending
as
all
far
their
as,
personal
an
data to
outright ban
China
of social media,
and now
I'm
Trump.
not so certain that this would be
Palantir.
appropriate or productive, because I feel like sheltering the youth from
Harmful, very
way to
harmful
communicate with
technologies
one
like
another
TikTok and Twitter
and a way to learn what's
is not a
going
good
on
thing.
around the
We
world
should
is
just
probably
let
not
them
the
free
best
rein.
idea either.
No
Sam Piker,
regulations,
thank you very
right?
much indeed for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Bye, commie.